Scotty Tuhati says Ice Cube is not a socialist. We know. This is why it's important to have this conversation. Because we want him to know that we know that the duopoly doesn't work. And we know that the powers that be do not want any type of liberation, especially for Black people. We know. This is why it's important to build a class consciousness so that somebody like him can see, whoa, the socialists and communists, they know what's up. Even if he doesn't become one, he can stand with us and use his platform to push a true narrative that actually changes the system, not reforms it. See what I mean? That's why it's good to talk. Monarch asks, has Ice Cube ever been on Russell Brand or Joe Rogan? Man, let me talk about this. Let me show it. Because everybody's, I opened the door. So I might as well get in on it, right? It wasn't in the thumbnail, sorry, but we'll make a clip about it. All right, so a couple hours ago, Ice Cube put out a video. I guess this is going to be an added story. I never really add stories, but, well, shit, fuck it. Let's go. All right, this is Ice Cube. Let's talk about it.
Yo, what's cracking? You know what it is. It's your homeboy Ice Cube. And some of you may not have realized that I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either. And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their fucking club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people would be like, what? Who? Come on, man, stop playing. So ever since I put out the contract with Black America, you know they've been fucking with me. Here and there, this and that. But it's cool, you know. I expect that. You know, I've been working with, on the big three for a long time. And you know how they've been fucking with me with that. I done made it, plain, simple, and clear what they've been doing. The NBA been fucking with us. Now, a lot of people might say, like, well, but Cube, you want to work with the NBA. Really, I don't give a fuck about working with the NBA. What I want them to do, when I say work with us, is to stop working against us. Stop doing that bullshit behind the scenes that we know you're doing. Mainstream media, they ain't fucking with us. And that's cool. We can do it ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We still on the rise without these motherfuckers. So we don't need them, you don't need them. So what am I going to do to deal with these motherfucking gatekeepers? Well, what I'm going to do is go on a Fuck the Gatekeepers podcast tour. And I'm going to go talk to everybody, and get a chance to get my message out to the people. um, be able to let people hear from me, and you might agree, you might not, but the the important thing is, for me to go on these platforms, say what I feel about what I think, and you know, some people may get pissed off because I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm not playing, and it's gonna be a crazy summer. It's gonna be fun. Appreciate y'all. Always support the big three. Hopefully, I'm doing stuff that you guys dig. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for people that's bored as fuck in the summer with summer sports and want something cool like the big three. So here we are. Appreciate you. Much love, much respect from your homeboy Ice Cube. Remember that.
So basically, one of the things that I did is I reached out to him in the tweet that he put out, and I recommended that he come talk to me. He can talk to me on my channel. He can come talk to us at RBN. I tagged RBN. I tagged Savvy Sabs. I tagged Margaret Kimberly. I tagged Marcus Cage. Basically, the black people who came to mind instantly in independent media. That's who I. That's who I actually, said. You know what? Let's go. Let's have this conversation. So my thing is that this is why it is important for us to have this conversation. Now, he was talking about the contract with Black America. So here's the contract with Black America. So it said, let me see, let me enlarge this so everybody can see. This was written in 2020. It says, as citizens and lawmakers both, we are joining to demand the contract with Black America be addressed immediately to finally create the more perfect union all Americans deserve. As such, it is time for a complete paradigm shift in how we run our institutions and operate our country. The problems facing America are too deep and wide, and simply reform one area or another. Long-lasting solutions demand a comprehensive, thorough rethink of America so that each new approach in each area supports the success of the others. These contract with Black America will provide conceptual approaches in several areas. Derek Hamilton, in the preface to the contract, says this contract with Black America strikes at the heart of racism and presents a blueprint to achieve racial economic justice. It was written in the backdrop of the killing of George Floyd, which set off a wave of protests not seen since the civil rights era of the 1950s and 60s, and a global pandemic in which the Black mortality rate is more than double the white rate, in which 45%, nearly half of Black-owned businesses closed. That the impact that sorry, it's supposed to be that's the impact of something presumably random, such as the pandemic, however catastrophic, can be so linked to one's racial identity is highly problematic. And further evidence that as a nation, we are failing miserably. I would chime in and say that failure is actually a design. It's a feature, not a bug. This links to a larger political and economic vulnerability. Whether we're in a pandemic or not, the immoral devaluation of Black lives has been ingrained in America's political economy and is long overdue for a reckoning. This contract with Black America is a patriotic pathway. Ugh, I wouldn't have said that. Patriotic pathway to promote our shared prosperity and achieve racial economic justice. Ambassador Andrew Young is equally supportive. The pandemic has revealed to us the importance of the essential work of which many are minorities. We can grow no stronger without improving the sustainability of those at the bottom of an economic pyramid. The contract with Contract for Black America is a comprehensive step towards action plan to address the future stability of minorities and essential workers across the nation, to address racial inequality. And after reading the Contract of Black America, the undersigned agree to support and demand an open debate and clear and fair vote within the first 100 days of the 117th Congress in 2021 on the following proposals to be codified into specific bills. I'm not going to read the details of each one, but I'm going to read the heading of each one. So number one, bill to guarantee Black opportunity and representation. So, it talks about, closing the wealth gap. And it says Black representation on all government rights bodies, civil rights classes, mandatory elementary schools, gerrymandering reform, additional polling, Black places, Black minority neighborhoods, Juneteenth become a federal holiday. It says Black lending reform, so to lend and loan more. Federal funding of baby bonds. So it says pass federal program providing every child with a government-funded trust account at birth, starting with $1,000 contribution. Says Federal Reserve government pensions, financial oversight, personal data and credit, prison reform, judicial reforms, Police Reform Act, FCC licensing public airwaves, Confederate monuments and institutions, AJP program for education and jobs, and Black responsibility. Talks about chronic poverty creates an atmosphere full of negativity, frustration, hopelessness, depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, crime, and violence. These are some of the conditions that plague Black community, which is dealing with extreme generational poverty. As we begin to gain social and economic equality, it is our duty to clean up ourselves in our community. This contract is a two-way street. As we gain social and economic equality, we must begin to dissolve any bitterness in our hearts for past wrongs. So this is what he is saying that we need to do. Here's my thing about the Contract with Black America. I think it is an ambitious approach. However, this ambitious approach, in my view, doesn't go far enough. You see, if in this contract, I see the word reform a lot. Let me see here. Yep. George Jackson, in his book Blood in My Eye, talks about how reform just keeps the same system in place, keeps the same people in place, and doesn't really actually do much. And one thing that I would argue, if I had a conversation with Ice Cube, is even when you do reforms, they always revert back to their original form, because capitalism itself is an institution. It is a system that always goes back to its original form, no matter what. Look at the reforms they did under FDR. Those reforms always get rolled back because the system requires it to do so. This is why a new system is absolutely necessary. He says bank lending reform, right? What is it? Prison reform, judicial reforms. They always go back. Police reform. See, here's the thing. We need to defund and abolish police at its fundamental level and rebuild it in the way that it should be, public safety should be. Reforming police doesn't work. They've tried reforms over and over again, right? This is the thing I would argue. And so this system is unnecessary and no longer serves Black people or any people for that matter. And unless you are part of the very tippy top, it only serves you. It doesn't serve the rest of us. And so this is why I would look and I would speak, very kindly to somebody like Ice Cube. And I would say, I understand that you're fighting for us, for our people. But the best fight we can do for our people is to completely tear this system apart and cast it off to the wind. Because this system is like a venomous snake. And you might beat it and bruise it just to get it off of you, but it's going to heal and it's going to strengthen its resolve and it's going to strike again. Over and over and over. The only way to get rid of that snake is to cut its fucking head off. I'm sorry, but that's the only way. When it comes to taking out a tumor, you have to remove the entire tumor. You cannot leave a little bit. Capitalism is a cancer. And if you leave a little bit of that tumor in, it's going to grow again. Capitalism is a system that requires infinite resources on a finite planet. On a planet with finite resources. Infinite growth. That's what a cancer does. It will not stop until it has consumed its host. If I was a doctor, right? And if I said, "Oh, we're going to take out 95% of the tumor, but we're just going to leave the last little bit in without any other intervention," you can damn be sure that that tumor is going to grow again and that cancer is going to come back. This is why it needs to happen in a way more of a revolution. I'm sorry, but the thing is that a lot of Black people are saying, well, no, we just got to reform this. We just got to reform that. Absolutely not. Because the thing is that, look, we tried reform. We tried it. We still have slavery in this country. Baby, we still got slavery. It never went away. We just reformed it. We just reformed it. It never went away. Look, child labor. Child labor, we did a reform, right? Now look into places like Iowa. Child labor laws are getting rolled back, baby. What do? We did a reform when it came to Roe v. Wade, right? We had the courts decide it, but guess what? It got rolled back, baby. Look, here's the thing. Reforms only are temporary fixes for a long-term problem. Look, I can paint the walls in a dilapidated house all I want, but that house is still going to be dilapidated at the end of the day. That's the problem. Black people, come on, man. Here's the thing. What did Fred Hampton say? He said, we will not defeat capitalism with Black capitalism, but we must defeat it with socialism. I can't serve it to you any other way. I can try to serve it to you as best as I possibly can. But look, baby, you can't reform it. It has to be destroyed. And like I said earlier, This baby is coming 1 or 2 days, baby. We either are going to have a live birth or a stillborn. It's going to be one of the 2 ways. Are we going to push for that live birth? Are we going to go to the Lamont classes? Are we going to help the coaching with the breathing? Are we going to do the prenatal medications? Are we going to make sure that this baby comes out live? Screaming, crying, letting us know, hey, I'm here, I'm alive. Or are we going to have a stillborn where it comes out the womb and you don't hear a thing? And there's nothing that you can do in order to revive it. It's going to be one of the 2 ways. And I can't explain it more than that. That's the thing, man. You know, this is why I encourage somebody like him. Come on Black Agenda Report. Come on Marcus Cage's channel. Come on Black Power Media. Come on RBN. Come on Sabby Sabs. Come on my channel. Let's have this conversation. But I'm going to tell you right now, I actually don't think it's ambitious enough. That's the thing. A lot of people who are part of the African descendants of slaves, the ADOS movement, a lot of people who are the FBA, the Foundational Black Americans, I don't think that they think far enough. I don't think that they go hard enough. When it comes to reparations, nah, baby, the reparations is not enough. I say reparations and I say get rid of this system. Get rid of capitalism. And not just demanding our reparations from the United States government, and also the Dutch government, the French government, the British government. Because guess what? Some of us also have ancestors that were here 100 years before the United States ever came into being. Some of our ancestors still, you know, some of our people will be descended from people who were part, you know, of that government too. Some of us also deserve reparations from the British government in the United States. Yes. Because some of us have our ancestors go back before this country ever formed. Why are we here? Why are we here? Why are we here not knowing our lineage, not knowing the country of our origin, not knowing the language that we spoke because we were stolen? But why were we stolen? Because of a capitalist system that requires infinite growth on a planet with finite resources. We are part of those resources that they stole because of capitalism. This is why the system itself is still around. It has to be taken away. You cannot keep this system. The same system that brought us slavery is the same system that people are talking about reform. But the thing is that it keeps reverting back to slavery. It keeps going. Nothing but love to Ice Cube. My thing is, I think you need to be more ambitious. And this is what people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Fannie Lou Hamer, Assata Shakur, George Jackson. This is why a lot of us are either exiled or dead, because they were ambitious. And that ambition meant getting rid of the system itself. And I know a lot of people are tired. But what else do we have? I'm going to play this really quick just to solidify my point. All right. We still have slavery in this country. Reforms only go so far. Let's go. This is out of TikTok.
I did not know slavery exists until I went to prison. See, I can speak about slavery, right? Because I've been a slave. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery unless you've been convicted of a crime. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I catch you.
I'm inventory at the age of 17, a slave for the state of Texas to serve 8 years of servitude in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
Now, why you say a slave? Because some people think that, hey, once you're there, you just get a bunk bed, you get a book, and you get to just sit there in boring silence for the rest of your days.
You asked me why I said slavery?
Let's go.
Have you ever seen a nigga pick cotton?
Nah.
Where have you seen a nigga pick cotton at?
Never in my life.
A slave, though.
Oh, slave. Yeah.
Nigga, I was sent to pick cotton. That's why I said.
Oh, so wait. So
I was sent to say. All right.
I
ain't never seen nothing but a slave pick cotton.
Wait. So you have actually picked cotton off the cotton plant?
I have picked cotton off the cotton plant. Texas Department of Criminal Justice. You pick cotton off the cotton plant.
I remember.
I go out here to the fields, and this is something me and you would never think exists. Right around the corner here, it's plantations of nothing but cotton. The South Empire was built on cotton, and they hadn't changed it in the 90s. We was here to pick it. And look, when I got to the field, I'm like, I'm not picking that shit, nigga. I'm not no motherfucking slave. They drew their guns. You ask what happened. You say what happened, right? Oh, they trained for niggas. Oh, you one of them niggas. You think you ain't gonna pick, huh?
Yeah.
You think you Kunta, Toby? Roll right up me on them guns, told me get down on my hands and knees or they gonna shoot me.
Reform. That's reform, right? We're no longer going to have slavery except, okay, no. We don't have slaves anymore, except. This is what I mean. This system needs to end. Because we will no longer accept the exception. Look, George Jackson was right. Assata Shakur, she's correct. Fred Hampton was on the money. Dr. Martin Luther King had it right. Malcolm X, Fannie Lou Hamer, they all had it right. Guess what? Reforms do not work. This is reform. Accept the exception. Do you accept the exception? Let's continue. It gets worse.
That's what I'm telling you. They got, you are a slave. They have the right to kill you if you pose a threat to leave in this structure. No, damn. This is jail.
So
I am a slave. If I run, they shoot me in the back.
How many times you thought of running?
None. Well, what you mean?
So let me, at any point, did you feel like, man, if we all get in this together, we can overtake this shit?
That shit sound good,
right,
bro. That shit sound good. And I'm going to get to that, right? So to this point here, right? They made me get on the ground. One of them got off the horse. He got off the horse. If I made any moves, you get smoked. They get a free kill. They got notches on their shit from niggas they didn't kill.
Yeah.
They keeping the score. Do you hear what I'm saying? That's why I say that let's not play with this shit. This is slavery. This is my first day. I'm like, you, what the fuck is this?
You still a child? Yeah, you still a kid too. You what, 17, 18?
I'm 17.
17.
Like, what the fuck is this? Make me get on my knees. One of them get off, handcuff me, right? And I'm thinking this, well, at least I get a ride back in the building. I'm out this shit. They got me fucked up. No, that's not happening, bro. Guess what they do? You know, do they whip you? They don't whip you, right? This is what they do. It's hot outside right now, right? Yeah. They have a trailer. Everybody know of a trailer, like they go on the back of a truck. Yeah. They have a trailer that's enclosed with a fence, a regular fence. Yeah. They handcuff you in this trailer, put you in this trailer like this, no seats in the trailer or nothing for the rest of the day. Welcome to burning hell. I'm telling you, I've been a slave, bro. And that shit ain't nothing to play with. I can tell you this, though. By day 6, I was the most best cotton picking nigga they ever had down in that motherfucker. Look here, say, look here. And I wasn't the only one. It was some stiff cotton picking niggas down there. Do you hear what I'm saying? Hey, nigga, I'm telling you the honest truth, meaning they have perfected on mentally and physically breaking niggas. And listen, if you got 2 out of line, I'm finna get to your story too. Listen, that's them breaking. After that, if you get 2 out of line, them niggas will whoop you out there. Hey, you fucking it up for everybody. Nigga, if boss man say this nigga ain't acting right, them niggas will whoop you out there. So I went from that to having fights out there. And guess what? Fight, win, lose, or draw. Back to picking cotton. No matter what. Back to picking cotton.
That's reform. It never went away. It never went away. In a capitalist system, reform just means sweeping it under the rug so you don't see it in front of your eyes anymore. What does reform for homelessness mean? Oh, we just move the homelessness to another location so you don't get to see them every day. That's what capitalism does. It doesn't actually solve the problem. It just sweeps it under the rug. Right? That's what they do. Look. This is going to make you sick, but I got to show it. Let me show y'all. "12 major companies benefiting from the prison industrial complex." Every single time you order McDonald's or Wendy's, guess what? You can't boycott because guess what? You go to one company, they do some nefarious shit. You go to another company, they do some nefarious shit. The only solution is revolution. The only solution is revolution. McDonald's uses inmates to produce frozen foods. Inmates produce processed beef for patties. They may also process bread, milk, and chicken products. Wendy's has also been identified as relying on prison labor to reduce its cost of operations. Inmates also process beef for patties. Walmart, of course. The company uses inmates for manufacturing purposes. The company hires, quote unquote, inmates to clean products of UPC barcodes so that products can be resold. Starbucks. The company uses inmates to cut costs as well. Starbucks subcontractor Signature Packing Solutions hired Washington State prisoners to package holiday coffees. Do you have Sprint? Inmates provide telecommunication services. Inmates are used in call centers. Verizon. Inmates provide telecommunication services. Victoria's Secret. The company uses inmates to cut production costs. In South Carolina, female inmates were used to sew products. Also, inmates reportedly have been used to replace made in tags with made in USA tags. So when they say made in USA, it's also because it's made by slave labor. Some of you guys got that Victoria's Secret products in your house now? When was the last time you had a Dave's Double? Or when was the last time you had that nice apple pie from McDonald's? What else? Fidelity Investments, 401k, or other investments held by the Fidelity. And in some cases, some of your money invested by Fidelity is used for prison labor or in other operations related to the prison industrial complex. The investment firm funds the American Legislative Exchange Council, which has created laws authorizing the increasing the use of inmates in manufacturing. JCPenney. Kmart and JCPenney both sell jeans made by inmates in Tennessee prisons. American Airlines and Avis use inmates to take reservations. I have to admit, I used American Airlines when I went to go see, went to my grandmother's funeral. I did not know this. It makes me sick to my stomach to know this. But this is why the system has to end. Reform doesn't work. That's the problem. And people go, well, you know, it's not a perfect system, but we freed the slave. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. This is something I would bring up to Ice Cube. Like, bruh, I respect the work you do. And I'm a fan, you know, of some of your work. But I think this may be a blind spot. That reform just won't work. We have to get out there on the ground and organize dual power to get out of this system. Because you and I live in this country and are subject to the horrors of this country because of the system that we're trying to reform. That's the thing. So yeah, I didn't want to, I was going to talk about it on my channel, but everybody's talking about it now, so I was still going to talk about it. But that's the thing. So let me go to some of the comments. John Kershaw, you've been chatty on Rumble. Woo! Man. Okay. I'll pick one from John Kershaw. It says, Ice Cube will continue to ignore you because he isn't fighting for you or anyone else but himself. Self-aggrandizement is not public service. Look, I'm going to take him at his word at face value, right? And by that, what I mean is, if he's serious about actually talking to everybody, because he said he wants to talk to everybody, if he really wants to talk to everybody, come to some smaller independent media channels as well. Don't go to these big, huge podcasts and just go only to them. Come to the small channels too. Especially those of us that are about Black liberation. Come to our channels. Talk to us. But he might not agree with everything. But we're going to tell him the truth. So yeah.